acceptance. Diversity is acceptance.
Diversity is life.
Diversity is understanding.
Diversity is priceless.
Acceptance.
All people working together.
Infinite.
Unity. Most definitely unity.
When we're laying on our deathbed, you're not going to worry about how much money you had, how much power you had, how much prestige. You're going to see that that was all game, that that was all an illusion. The only thing that's going to matter is the impact you had on other people's lives.
We are all on a separate journey. But the beautiful thing about our life here on this earth is at my funeral, they ain't gonna talk about my success. They're gonna talk about who Nick was and how Nick lived and how Nick loved and encouraged.
Success is incredibly important, but even more important than success, it's having an impact. It's knowing you haven't walked the planet in vain. It's knowing that because you've been here, you've blessed lives, you've developed people, and you have made the world a better place.
The effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart.
Life is a mirror, and life gives us not what we want. Life gives us who we are. When you were born, you cried while the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice.
I had to mute myself for just a minute there because that is such a powerful video. And that is what drives each of us and each of the individuals that you will meet tonight, is this idea of impact. It's this idea of legacy, right? What will they say about you? What will they say about me? What will they say about how Joanna lived, how Joanna loved, how Joanna gave? Hopefully they will say she gave willingly and she gave with all of her heart. Because as all of us know, diversity, equity, and inclusion is heart work. And I say that quite often. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joanna Deshay, and I have the great pleasure of serving as Executive Director for Diversity Leadership Alliance. What a tremendous role it is. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to teach. It's an opportunity to guide. And most importantly, it's an opportunity to give. Because at the end of the day, you know, as the video so appropriately said, we'll have more than just money, right? When all that is left behind, what will you leave behind? What impact will you have made? We are so excited that you all are here, and we can't wait for you to meet the amazing people that are really changing the way that we navigate, changing the way that their organizations navigate, and which is all for the benefit of us because it's going to change our community entirely. We were supposed to have a welcome from our amazing co-founder, Mr. Marion Kelly, but as you know, the travel gods have been doing some very strange things these days, and he just literally minutes ago landed because his flight was delayed for a few hours, so he does send his regrets. What I wanted to do is just take a few minutes to share with you his 21st anniversary conference message, which I think is so profound and so important. He talks about the idea that the global pandemic has really deepened our resolve for commitment and our resolve to also dismantle systemic racism in all of its forms. Marion states in his letter that our goal has always been to provide this, a forum for diversity and inclusion dialogue, and a chance to offer learning opportunities to help enhance not just professional development, but understanding and management of diversity as an essential part of doing business and being successful at it. He talks also about the fact that advocates and allies, such as you all, right, will speak up this time bravely in support of equity and inclusion. And that is really how we shift the pendulum. Marion says in his letter, please stand in solidarity with us and each other as we raise our collective voices so loud that we drown out the sounds of hate, bias, and injustice. And that is from our co-founder, Mr. Marion Kelly. So welcome again. What I would like to do, since we are just actually right on the heels of celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day, which was this past Monday, if you did not know that, the 10th of October, we would like to acknowledge the land that we sit on. We acknowledge the Native nations that have inhabited lands in the Phoenix, Arizona region, where I'm sitting right now, for centuries. They comprise the ancestral territories of Indigenous people who really have kept these lands and allowed us to be here today. Here in the Phoenix area, that would include the Akimel O'odham, which is the Pima, and also the Peepash, which is the Maricopa Native communities and tribes. We acknowledge the people, we acknowledge their ancestors, we acknowledge their descendants, and we acknowledge the land itself. And land acknowledgements are important because they are statements that acknowledge that colonialism is not a past event, right? It's an ongoing process which we are all a part of. And that is one way that we can increase our cultural intelligence in terms of the next step for this process. So I just wanted to make sure we acknowledge that. We have got such an amazing, amazing program for you. But before we begin, I just want to acknowledge that while you see me, right, Joanna, singular, sitting here, there are so many other individuals that are right next to me that have really helped move this organization, this event forward, including our dynamic conference co-chairs, who you'll meet a little later, Reed Despiguiler and Tiki Carmichael. They have been doing such a tremendous job, really pushing the envelope forward to ensure that we're even more professional, that our content is even more rich than it has been, and that we have presenters that are really going to wow you. So I just wanted to formally acknowledge them and say thank you. And also acknowledge our board of directors. They have been so crucial in driving the strategic vision for the organization and ensuring that we are reflective of the community that we serve. So very special thank you to the DLA board of directors. And tonight you'll get to hear from the two individuals that are responsible for the awards committee and the awards program that you are partaking in tonight. And that's our award leadership, Dr. Brent Scholar and Lorena Castro. You'll hear from them as well. And the wonderful videos that you will see are thanks to our friends over at Mayo Clinic. I think it's Mike that helped us with those videos. So when you see them, you'll be so tickled as I was. What I would love to do at this moment is I want to make sure you get a chance to meet Reed. I want to make sure you get a chance to hear from Tiki as well. And at this time, I would like to bring on our two conference co-chairs, Mr. Reed Despiguiler and Ms. Tiki Carmichael. Reed and Tiki, good evening to you.
Good evening, Joanna. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. One of the things that we want to make sure that we do tonight is really acknowledge our sponsors. All the work that you're going to see over the next couple of days could not be possible without their amazing partnership and assistance. So we first want to start off by acknowledging our 5 change agent companies who are serving as presenting sponsors this year. We are humbled in the fact that out of all the opportunities that they have, that they've chosen to take a leading role with DLA. And so those sponsors are Channel 12 News, SRP, the Mayo Clinic, University of Phoenix, and USAA. We are also so fortunate that we have so many wonderful returning sponsors. So we have Cox, APS, PetSmart Charities, the Phoenix Union, and we actually have some new sponsors as well. And Care First is one of our new sponsors this year. We have Medtronic, Perkins Coie, the University of Arizona College of Medicine here in Phoenix. We have our partners with Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. We also have our Central Arizona Project sponsors who are returning. We also have a partner who is definitely returning to the fold. So this year we really want to acknowledge ASU and the Center for Study and Race and Democracy. We have the Ability 360 partners, our Phoenix Water Smart group, the Arizona SHRM, the City of Phoenix Equal Opportunity Department. We have our Girl Scouts who are sponsoring us again this year. We have Live Communities. We have Communities Celebrating Diversity, Boeing, Teros Health, and another new sponsor for us this year is Leslie's Pool Supply Service and Repair Company. We also have our partners with AAA, as well as our CSAA Insurance Group, a AAA insurer. Again, we're so fortunate that they have chosen to support the DLA this year. And I want to go ahead and turn it over to Reed so he can really help you understand what we will be bringing forward in our virtual conference over the next 2 days, thanks in part to the partnership that we have with our sponsors.
Well, thank you, Tiki. Thank you, Joanna. Welcome everybody to our official award ceremony and the kickoff to conference in 2022. I've been sharing this thing for 4 years now and have seen the evolution from that in-person celebration to our virtual space. And it really happens because of our volunteers and all of you. And when I think about what this conference means, we learn so much. And then we go out and we practice and we implement and we take it to our boardrooms and to our workplaces. And we're honoring that work tonight. We're honoring what you do, those takeaways that you learn and you share. So I just think you are all here as award nominees and recipients in a long tradition of such great award nominees and recipients. So we thank you and we honor your work. And we hope that you'll leave conference ready to practice and take it to the community. This year's conference is all about participating with brave conversations. And we want to turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones, that path toward a more diverse and equitable community. You'll find that our speakers are going to contribute to empowering keynote sessions, panelist discussions, workshop content where we dive deeper into certain subject areas, and some cutting edge fireside chats where we really hear kind of the reality of what the world is facing in 2022. We want to cultivate change agents, and we believe that you guys are ready to lead alongside us, and we want that renewed sense of bravery, urgency, and empathy in our communities. So we invite you to raise your collective voice and try to drown out the havoc of racism and be brave and be brave in the conversations that conference will present, and be part of those stepping stones and be a stepping stone for that brighter community that we all are looking for and working for. You're going to see 2 days worth of content. We're going to kick off tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. We're going to lean right into an opening keynote. It's called Let's Talk About It, building a productive workplace conversation around race, gender, and equity. That's going to be an exciting keynote. Next, we've got workshops, and that's where you can go to multiple workshops and you'll be able to attend each one. Belonging and connecting is in the morning, and that's about feeling seen, heard, understood, accepted. And workshop 2, healing, that collective community trauma that Marion, our founder, referenced in his opening tonight. We also have those workshops repeating in the afternoon. And I want to shout out a special session that we'll have to close tomorrow. It's all about mindfulness and that intentional space for peace and balance. That's such an important thing in 2022. And I hope that we all go to that session and learn how mindfulness can help us in our workplace. And then finally, we're going to close out the evening tomorrow with an employer resource, job fair, career exploration. It's a place where you can network with like-minded diversity practitioners and hear from some of the largest companies in the Valley about what they're doing in the areas of DEI and if there's jobs available and how you can pursue those. I think it's a great networking opportunity. More than anything, we appreciate you being part of the conference and are so thrilled to honor award recipients who have done the work, not only this year, but their entire lives. And with that, I will turn it back over to, I believe, Joanna.
Thank you so much. What we're going to do is we're actually going to get it started, right? So we're going to actually get the program piece started right now. So what I would love to do is recognize that there's so much that goes to this. And I would like to bring on your hosts for the next portion of this award ceremony, which are our awards committee co-chairs, Ms. Lorena Castro and Dr. Brent Scholar. Thank you all and welcome. Good evening, Lorena. Good evening, Brent.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing tonight? And wherever you are, we're here in Phoenix. We have our beautiful awards background here. We want to thank Joanna, Tiki, and Reed for opening up our comments today. It's always a great time to be celebrating what we are today. I mean, as Joanna already talked about, doing the good work, having the brave conversations. That's what DLA is all about, pushing that envelope just to get us to that next level. So thank you everyone for being here tonight and celebrating with us. Lorena, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 21st Annual Diversity and Inclusion Award Ceremony. I am so excited to be here once again, especially this year, since it takes place during our Hispanic Heritage Month on September 15th till October 15th. Hola a todos y bienvenidos a nuestro 21 año de entrega anual de premios a la diversidad e inclusión. Estoy muy emocionada de estar aquí otra vez, especialmente este año porque se lleva a cabo durante nuestro mes de herencia hispana que se lleva a cabo el 15 de septiembre a 15 de octubre. So Hispanic Heritage Month pays a tribute to history, heritage, and contribution of the ancestors of American citizens who have come from Mexico, Spain, the Caribbean, and South and Central America. Such history has positively influenced and enriched our nation and society, not only with their delicious food, our culture, traditions, customs, but most importantly, the love for our family unity. This holds a special place in my heart as I brought to this country at a very young age. Although it was challenging very much at first, now as an adult, I really do enjoy making connections and being able to share my tradition, my culture, and bringing friends together at the table and trying our delicious food, which we know that is priceless. As we reflect on what Hispanic Heritage Month is, and what it means to all, I realize how fortunate I am to be part of the DLA award ceremony, AC Sherm, and my employer who inspires change for life and works each day to bring diversity and inclusion. So thank you. That was my opening speech. And now I want to ask everyone to welcome our amazing Dr. Brent, Scholar Co-Chair.
Oh, thank you, Lorena. I couldn't do this without you. You know, we've been doing this now for 3 years together. You know, every year it's always fun, but I got to tell you, it's a joy to be with you, and I appreciate all of your support that you give all of our attendees here today and our nominees and everything. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing, and also the work that's happening over at Arizona SHRM, right? Our partner for these awards. So thank you very much for that as well. I am Dr. Brent Scholar. Hello, everybody. I'm one of the co-chairs. My better half you've just heard from. I'm not going to be able to top that. I'm going to tell you that. But I have been with Diversity Leadership Alliance since my first conference in 2010. Wow, 22 years, and I've been volunteering since 2011. So it is an amazing ride. I love the work that we do here. I love being able to celebrate the work, like I said earlier, and I want you to be able to celebrate that work too with us. So here's my plug. Volunteer with us. We need you. Monthly, we need you. It's not just the conference. We have monthly workshops. Go to our website, check that out. There's our plug for all of that. But let's get going with the good stuff, right? We don't want to hear that. We want to know who won. That's why we're here. All right. So the post-pandemic world we live in now, right, is forever changed. How we gather and connect. Look where we are. We were hopeful that in 2022 we'd be able to bring everyone together in person this year at the awards ceremony, but that has proven to be another challenge for us. So in true DLA style, we pivoted. And again, we are here virtually to keep everybody safe and have a wonderful experience celebrating together. So thank you very much for joining our ceremony virtually again this year. We're getting pretty good at it. It's our 3rd year in a row, folks. So hopefully we'll go through. But I will say this: every year it's different. We've done it in different locations, and now we're 100% virtual. So let's just all remember that tech happens, and we'll have a little grace if we have some glitches there. But good evening, and I am proud to be here to help host our 21st annual award ceremony with, once again, the lovely Lorena Castro.
And I'm so glad to be sharing this space with everyone, and of course with you, Brent. We have the ability to honor individuals taking charge and leading the way in fight for equity and inclusion. The Diversity and Inclusion Awards are wonderful collaboration between DLA and Arizona SHRM. And we are grateful to be part of the celebration for these Mavericks and Trailblazers. And before we get to the awards, perhaps you have noticed the hardworking and dynamic translator we have been helping us with the program this year. I would like to thank our American Sign Language and closed captioning partner, Equal Access Service and translators, Heather Ivy and Meadow Lysenby. And please give a big virtual shout out to the awards video sponsor and conference presenting sponsors, the Mayo Clinic, and Mr. Mike Clayton for producing the amazing videos you're going to see shortly.
All right, excellent. So the 21st Annual Diversity and Inclusion Awards were created by our lead co-founder, Ms. Christina French. And she honors and celebrates those servant leaders who empower others and create a culture where everyone can show up as themselves and be respected and equally valued. This year's group of finalists are not going to disappoint. They embody those attributes, and it was a very difficult decision for the awards committee to select its 2022 winners. We would like to thank our committee members, Sonia Talley, Rowdy Duncan, Jackie Starks, Barry Stratford, Guadalupe Martinez, and Lila Zaglul. They have been so helpful in deciding who is going to win, and we have some past winners on there as well. So just a quick little round of applause for them.
And the one thing that we do not have is time. And I want to acknowledge the award nominators who took time out of their time to really provide, nominate these servant leaders. That simple act of donation of time will help shine a much deserved spotlight on some amazing allies, advocates, and leaders working tirelessly with the DEI space.
All right, we would like to recognize some transformative individuals now who have demonstrated collaborative leadership and visible commitment to the work of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. These individuals are bravely creating spaces where others can celebrate and be celebrated with dignity and humility. So as you can see, we're bringing our finalists on the screen now. So let's welcome, let's see, Sam Castro, Dr. Felina Cordova Marks, Nikki Tapia, Dr. Donald W. Northfelt, Kristen Rodney, who unfortunately will not be able to join us this evening, Jennifer Sanchez, and Zachary Romo. Let's do a huge, big congratulations.
Let's do a drum roll for the first winner for the 2022 DLA and AC Sherm Diversity Leader of the Year goes to Dr. Donald Northfelt. Congratulations to Dr. Donald Northfelt for being the Diversity Leader of the Year.
Mayo Clinic Arizona has been working in diversity and inclusion spaces for decades. I could cite so many examples of how Mayo Clinic has worked positively to improve diversity and inclusion in our community. I don't think that the work in creating diversity and inclusion should ever end. We are forever recognizing those friends and neighbors and colleagues among us who need uplifting and need support and have experienced discrimination and negative reactions within the work environment and in society at large. These are ongoing human problems that I don't expect we're ever going to completely eliminate. It will require continuous work and heartfelt work to make that process go forward for everyone. The one action that I could see being most impactful on a day-to-day basis is for every one of us to show up with diversity and supporting diversity in our minds and look for those opportunities in every activity that we do in our workday to promote diversity, to promote inclusion, and to create better understanding amongst our colleagues, the leadership in our organizations, amongst those we serve.
Congratulations to Dr. Donald Northfelt, our first Diversity Leader of the Year award winner. Please say a few words.
Thank you so much. I want to share a quick anecdote. Today I saw a young woman with breast cancer being treated at Mayo Clinic. She's uninsured because she is undocumented from Central America. We have a program at Mayo Clinic, not due to anything that I brought about, but because our leadership is thoughtful and forward-thinking. And this program allows us to provide free care to patients like this who are uninsured. And this is a collaboration with Adelante Healthcare. For the most part, these women are undocumented, which is why they're uninsured. So they come to Mayo Clinic and get their care. I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately. I'm pathetically monolingual. And so when I meet a patient like this, I begin each interaction by saying that I'm grateful to them for their patience in putting up with my lack of Spanish. And I'm usually, the response I usually get is one of humility on the part of the patient, but it's really me trying to present humility and a human face to the interaction. I remind myself in that moment that I'm there to serve that patient. And if I had even for a moment forgotten that that's what I'm there for, this is my mechanism for reminding me that I'm there to serve her. And I'm there to serve her in a time of crisis and in a time of fear because, you know, she came from elsewhere. She doesn't speak the same language as me. So I need help to provide her with the care that she needs. I'm mentioning this really because Mr. Shea said something before we started the program that resonated with me, which is that it's individual effort by each of us that's going to make a difference in this world and in developing space for diversity to occur. So I'm so grateful to be part of tonight's program and to share the successes that all of my colleagues and co-nominees have had in this effort. It won't ever end. We have to anticipate that we'll always require attention and work toward this goal. But I'm so grateful that I'm able to participate, and thank you very much for the honor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neufeld, for everything that you do. And I want to say, I don't think you're monolingual. You speak medical. So, you know, you do have that. So thank you very much and congratulations to you. All right, now let's see. Our second 2022 DLA and Arizona SHRM Diversity Leader of the Year Award goes to Dr. Felina Cordova-Marks.
Everything that I do in that diversity and inclusion space, I have to also acknowledge all of the people that I've worked with, mentors, community, my tribe, other tribes, as well as family and friends. I feel like nothing is ever truly done alone. So everything that I do is definitely with everyone else that's been a part of my life and my journey in academia and outside academia. It's definitely important to continuously do the work on diversity and creating inclusionary spaces, that there still aren't a lot of faculty of color, and compounding that women faculty of color as well. And this is important because students, the younger generation, needs to see us in these spaces so that they know that it's possible, and so that they can see us as peer models, peer mentors, and as the hashtag saying goes, hashtag representation definitely matters. It's so simple, but just to listen, it sounds like a very simple concept, but not a lot of people actually put it into practice, is to actively listen to others, to listen to people from diverse communities, diverse backgrounds, and to truly listen. It sounds so easy and silly to say that people just need to listen, but I think that they really do need to actively listen to each other, and that would definitely bring about a kinder, gentler, happier society.
Excellent. Congratulations, Dr. Felina Cordova-Marks, on being our second Diversity Leader of the Year award winner. It's your turn. Say a few words to everybody.
Wow, I don't know if I can measure up to Dr. Donald that just went and shared a personal story. That was fabulous. So yeah, I just like to thank my family, the University of Arizona for supporting all the diversity inclusivity initiatives, especially with Indigenous and Native populations, for supporting my work. I'd like to thank my graduate research assistant, Billy Carson. We really work on a lot of things as a team, so big thank you to him. I forgot to say that I am on the coming to you all from Tucson on the lands of the Tohono O'odham and the Pascua Yaqui tribe. And when we do land acknowledgements, if you all haven't taken a look at yours, make sure that it's actually actionable. Action statements should be included with land acknowledgements, as well as any kind of labor statements. I've noticed a lot of people putting labor statements into their presentations, and we need to do more than just acknowledge. We need to take action. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to my tribe, the Hopi Tribe, the Hopi Education Endowment Fund. I'm super nervous here. So thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you, DLA.
Well, congratulations, Dr. Cordova. And now let's go through a third 2022 DLA and AC Sherm Diversity Leader of the Year that goes to Kristen Rodney.
I'm incredibly proud of my journey and the support received from leaders and associates at PetSmart. And during my tenure, we increased representation within leadership. We broadened bias training. We launched a $1 million scholarship for associates of color and their dependents. We expanded all of our ARGs and hosted Belonging Week. And so that's the work that we're here to do. It has to do with identity and acceptance. And when we do it right, we as employees feel more valued, energized, innovative, and ultimately more productive. So this is good for the employee and good for the business. Active listening, it builds trust and relationships. It expands our worldviews and creates environments where we can more fully express ourselves. The best things that someone ever told me throughout my career is that the space of belonging is not about whether or not someone is wrong. Like, our job is not to prove that someone is right or wrong. It's to ultimately make sure that that person feels like they belong. And so that starts with active listening. That starts with acknowledging that your voice is important and really responding and respecting that voice. I believe in the power of allyship. Allies are individuals who stand up for equal and fair treatment of people that are different from them. And I think the one thing we can do is invest in more sponsorship, mentorship, or allyship programs that position people of privilege with the responsibility to redistribute power. It doesn't always come easy. And so I just wanted to take a moment to really give permission for folks to see and celebrate that today.
Congratulations to Kristen Rodney for a third Diversity Leader of the Year in award. And is she in? I believe she wasn't. Can you confirm?
She is not with us tonight, but she did send me a message. She sent me a message that she was unfortunately not able to join us tonight. She is actually participating in her organization's leadership retreat. So she thanks everyone for all the many ways that we celebrate DEI and the work that we do, and appreciate the opportunity to have played a tiny part in today's magic. So we congratulate her.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. The DLA and AC Sherm are committed to continue to have brave conversations that will move the needle on social justice. We move forward with this important work and continue to lead with honesty and open heart. We are honored to bring all your amazing work to light.
And thank you to all of our nominated and our nominators, because without any of them, we wouldn't all be here tonight. So thank you to all of our 2022 finalists for paving a way for others to continue to fight for and advocate for others. Lorena and I are humbled to have led this amazing committee for this third year, and look forward to honoring all of you soon, hopefully, at our advocates, our trailblazers, and our servant leaders soon at a live event. So thank you so much. So at this time, I just want to do one more thank you to my wonderful Better Half co-host, Lorena, for everything that you do. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And for everyone for being here to celebrate these diversity leaders. But we're not done yet. We have more special awards to give out tonight. So I would like to please bring back the wonderful, the amazing, the one and only, our Executive Director for Diversity Leadership Alliance, Joanna Deshay.
Wow, I love the hype. Thank you. Lorena, Brent, I love you two so much. And I think that we don't do enough of that. I know people are like, wow, that's a lot of thank yous. But just think about this. How many of us do jobs, that are thankless, where people just expect it of us, right? And that they just go, well, that's what you're supposed to do. right? So we, as you can see, we take it like to the next level because we really do appreciate each other. We have become friends in this process because we're all committed to the same outcome. I am so excited, and congratulations to our 3 Diversity Leadership Alliance champions. You are really, the work that you do really is exemplary, and you are really the reason why we do the work that we do. And to all of those that were also nominated, it is just tremendous. And as you know, Brent was telling me about reading all of the applications, and this is going to be difficult because they're all doing really tremendous work. I want to just take a quick minute and just make sure that we talk a little bit about these next awards. As we were looking at the community and individuals that are coming up through the community, it became important to us to recognize those that are, you know, trying to pave the way, really kind of blazing the trail. And so this year we are so excited. We're excited because we created a brand new award. So tonight's recipients are actually receiving an inaugural award from DLA, which is exciting. How exciting to be the first, right? And so I want to tell you a little bit about this award and the dynamics of what the executive team and the board decided when we came up with it. The award is called the Equity Trailblazer Award. And this specific award is for DEI corporate advocates. It is for community servant leaders. And that have really just kind of pushed the envelope in terms of making a difference. In addition to that, you're going to meet 2 of my absolute favorite people that are receiving the Christine French Lifetime Service Award. And I promise, and one of them just said, "Oh, you look so amazing, like so done up to." I'm going to promise not to ruin this, Lee. So we're going to try very hard to keep it together as we go through and give those awards. The DLA Equity Trailblazers are individuals that we recognize, and companies also, who are paving the way and planting deep roots to help foster and cultivate change. They're innovative, and they're upcoming leaders and companies that view DEI through a very fresh lens. And they're really forging this path to help guide others along the way. The recipient of this award is committed to creating an equity-centric space for innovation to thrive, for diversity to thrive, and for inclusion to thrive. And we are so pleased to be able to give these awards tonight. So the first award is actually a new sister friend of mine that I got the pleasure of meeting when she was new to the area. And as we sat and broke bread, and I sat across the table from her, I was reminded of how wonderful it is to see your community through fresh new eyes. And it reinvigorated me. It caused me to want to do more. But she came in just blazing the trail, just saying, what's not done? I want to do this. We're gonna do this, and I want to move the envelope for now the Arizona community, as she was coming from the Atlanta community, and still has a huge presence there in that community. So I would love to take just a few minutes, if I could, and introduce you to our first Equity Trailblazer Award recipient, and that is Dr. Velma Trahan with ThinkZilla. Yes, lovely photo, right? Look at that. And when we think about all of the spaces that she's in and thinking about all of the things that she's done, you've probably seen her name over and over again. And the one thing that Dr. Trahan did that I absolutely love is she immediately got to building bridges, making connections, making partners, and ensuring that they were all for the benefit of the community. And for someone that's new to the community, just figuring out where your kid's gonna go to school, right? And just figuring out the freeway system is already in itself a daunting task. And then you add to that wanting to change a community that you're new to. So I just wanted to congratulate Dr. Velma Trahan and with ThinkZilla. And at this time, I would love for you just to hear a little bit more about what they do and the trails that she's been blazing since she came to the Arizona community.
ThinkZilla has influenced change in the areas of supplier diversity. We have helped more than 8,000 women through supplier diversity programs. We've built more than 50 supplier diversity programs for public and private entities. Supplier diversity programs allows minority entrepreneurs to have an opportunity to do business with the federal government and corporations that are looking to diversify their supply chains. I think that seeking out organizations that are truly making an impact and taking action is one of the things that we can all do to become more intentional in amplifying the voices of underrepresented communities. I am truly humbled by this award. When I expanded ThinkZilla to the Valley in 2020, I knew that I was doing the right thing. And to see organizations like the Diversity Leadership Alliance honoring the work that I'm doing here in the Valley, I assure you, I will continue to make impact in the Valley. I will continue to help underrepresented communities. I will continue to bridge the gap. Thank you.
Yay! Bravo, my friend. Bravo. Congratulations to you and all of the work that you are doing. I just want you to know, I see you. I see you. I see you in all your glory. I see you in all of your trials. I see you, and I am so pleased to be able to honor you. At this time, would love to hear from you. Everyone, congratulations again to Dr. Velma Traham with ThinkZilla. Velma.
Thank you very, very much. I am so very honored. I am honored to receive this prestigious award. Thank you, Diversity Leadership Alliance, for the work that you're doing. I am just excited to be here, and I truly believe that we are one body with many moving parts, and this is just great. And I think that we're headed in a great direction here in the Valley with diversity and also supplier diversity in helping minority-owned businesses build and scale here. So just thank you for everything. I am truly honored. I'm truly honored and humbled for this award. Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations again. Did you hear that, you all? 8,000 women, 8,000. That is powerful, and that is why ThinkZilla and Dr. Velma Traham were named our first inaugural Equity Trailblazer Award recipient. Congrats again. I have to tell you that I love my job. And the reason I love my job is not only do I get to meet these amazing people, but they very quickly become friends. And what I mean by that is, I think when you're around like-minded people, you feel like you've known them for some time, right? And you feel like it's an individual that you've spent some time with. And when we were approached with a project that we wanted to work on our annual report and got a chance to meet the amazing people at Casual Astronaut, I was beside myself. And you'll hear from Jeff, the Chief Creative Officer, Vicar, in just a little bit. But our second Equity Trailblazer Award recipient goes to Casual Astronaut. So I'd love if we just hear a little bit from them now.
I would say that we definitely have been inspired by a lot of different individuals and groups that we've had the privilege of working with. We've been excited about a lot of the progress that we've been able to make as an organization, but we really have a lot of progress that we need to still make. In terms of how we're able to really kind of make an influence, I think we get to do that by just collaborating with a lot of great organizations across the state and across the country. One of our kind of guiding principles have been kind of two sides of the same coin, one being empathy and the other being grace. That it's hard when you are to think about other people's backgrounds, to think about other people's experiences if you haven't experienced them yourself. On the other side of that, also the grace of being open, being vulnerable, being willing to accept those changes, to accept different ideas, and also accept mistakes along the way. creates an environment where people feel like they can be a part of the conversation and shape the conversation, and real change can take place versus creating an atmosphere where it may feel scary or maybe just kind of lip service to the idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion. One of the things that shapes our charities program is really the idea of engaging with younger people, particularly in communities that are underserved, and seeing the programs that are offered through the schools here in Phoenix was an important reason why we wanted to join the wonderful efforts of DLA. So to think that we played even a small part of that is very humbling for us, but we're deeply appreciative that we could be a part of it.
Yay, Jeff! Congratulations to our friends at Casual Astronauts. Again, an inaugural winner of our award. Jeff, we are so thrilled, first of all, to have been selected to kind of just receive your expertise. And I knew I was in good company when Felicia was like, oh, I work there. And I'm like, okay, that's it. And if you all don't know, Felicia Penza, artist extraordinaire, actually works for this amazing gentleman. Congratulations to you, Jeff, for being an equity trailblazer. And I love what you said. If we could just all give each other a little bit of grace, all the things we could do and how powerful that is. So I really love that messaging. Welcome, and I would love to hear from you, Jeff.
Oh, well, thank you. I won't take up much time, especially in this esteemed group. We've been really inspired by all the work that you're doing. And as I mentioned in that video, we're particularly inspired by the younger generation coming through, their excitement, their passion, their willingness to try new things, their willingness to push us old people like me. And so we're really excited about the work coming from that younger generation, and we're very humbled that we get to play a very small role in all the wonderful work that this organization does. So on behalf of everyone at Casual Astronaut, thank you for including us, and thank you for the recognition.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Again, congratulations to our inaugural winners of our Equity Trailblazer Award. Well, since we are doing awards, I say we keep it going. We have two last awards that we'd like to give, and these are very special awards because they recognize two very, very special individuals that are near and dear to my heart. And so what we decided to do, the executive team, oftentimes we look outward, right? We look to select people that we see doing things around us. And oftentimes we forget the individuals that are right in our own inner circle. We forget to just kind of look around and see who's around us, who's doing the heavy lifting, who's making an impact and doing so very quietly and humbly. And that's what these two individuals are. We decided to grant these two individuals with the prestigious Christine French Lifetime Service Award. If you did not have the pleasure of meeting the dynamic, the larger than life 5-foot angel now, that was Christine French, oh, you missed out on meeting such a dynamic human being that had a servant's heart, and that was all of our mentors. And you'll hear it over and over again when people say, Christine was my mentor. We are definitely pleased that we have got a chance to really kind of work with her. And that's a picture of Christine that you can see there. And I just want you to know that we are so thrilled to be able to give these two individuals this award now. So what I would like to do is I would like to just tell you a little bit about this award and let you know kind of what its design was and what the tenets were in creating it. So the prestigious Christine French Award is named after our beloved, and you saw her there, Diversity Leadership Alliance lead founder, Miss Christine French. This award was created to help honor organizations and individuals that keep the flames of equity and inclusion burning bright for all to see. And the Christine French Award recipients are selected based on their consistent and unwavering support of equity and inclusion in all facets of their organizations. So this year, we actually selected 2 individuals and we selected 2 organizations, because as I was talking about looking at our proximity and the people that are around us, we had 2 organizations that were doing dynamic work and have been partnered with DLA almost from the beginning. We went to them in the beginning and we said, can you help us lead? And they said, absolutely. We went to them year after year and said, can you continue to support us in a time when we need support? And they said, absolutely. So you will get a chance to meet 2 companies and 2 individuals that are receiving this prestigious award. These individuals are really planting seeds of hope, and they are thoroughly vested in creating equity-centric cultures where everyone in their organizations and in their communities are seen, heard, and valued for their uniqueness. So what I would like to do now is I would like to share a little bit about our first Christine French Lifetime Service Award for a company that we love, that are near and dear to our heart, and that is Cox Communication. Yay to our friends at Cox. If we could hear a little bit about Cox Communication now and the work that they have been doing. And we've got Larry that you will hear, the VP of Human Resources. Give us just a second and we'll get that video going for you. Gotta love technology. Hold just a second and we'll get that video going.
At Cox Communication, we have about 20,000 employees, and we want to make sure that our employee base reflect the community base that we serve. Cox's diversity strategy is built on 4 pillars. First one is around people. We want to make sure that our workforce reflect the customer base we serve. Second, it's the community. Where we work is also where we live, so we have a social responsibility to improve the quality of life in the communities that we work and live in. Third is really around our customers. We want to make sure that our product and services can support the needs of our diverse customer base. Said differently, we want to make sure we have product and services that our customers want. And then lastly, in order to service the customer, the diverse customer, we need to partner with diverse suppliers. We think that's a win-win. We can help small businesses, women-owned businesses, or minority-owned businesses while we increase our pipeline for suppliers that we need. With the end of the pandemic, we should also end the seclusion and isolation, and we should reach out to the external world and seek to understand other people's ideas, experiences, and opinions. We're not asking you to accept or embrace their opinion. We're just asking you to understand and respect that while they are different, they're not better or worse. If we can do that, I think we will build a kinder and gentler world. To receive the Christine French Lifetime Award is both humbling and an affirmation of the lifelong work that we're doing at Cox.
Oh, that was excellent, excellent, excellent. Bravo and congratulations to Cox Communication, the recipient of our first Christine French Lifetime Service Award. Larry, thank you for joining us, and I would just be honored if you would say a few words. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Joanna. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Great. First of all, what a great evening. And congratulations to all the winners tonight. I think we're all winners, whether you're a nominee or an actual recipient. So on behalf of more than 3,000 Cox employees in the state of Arizona, I'd like to thank the Diversity Leadership Alliance and the Society of Human Resource for this recognition. To me, it's an honor to just be nominated, but it's absolutely to win the Christine French Lifetime Legacy Achievement Award is truly humbling. I've heard that word being used many times, and clearly it is a humbling nomination and recognition for Cox. You know, I came across an article about Mrs. Christine French not too long ago, and it talked about her modest beginning in Vietnam, how she rose to the executive ranks at American Express, and later she left to start her own diversity consulting firm. And there was a great quote in the article, and she said that EEOC and affirmative action plans are about counting people. However, diversity and inclusion are about making people count. You know, here at Cox, we champion diversity and inclusion, and we're committed to fostering a culture where every employee feels valued, respected, and empowered. D&I is an essential part of our overall business strategy, And our commitment ensures that the needs and the priorities of our employees, customers, community, and suppliers are reflected in our decision making. You know, the Christine French Lifetime Legacy Achievement Award will inspire Cox to continue to build a better and more inclusive future for the next generation of employees. So thank you, DLA. Thank you, Sherm, for this amazing award. We're truly humbled. Back to you, Joanna.
I appreciate that, Larry. We really do love your folks at Cox. They're just vested at all levels in really shifting the pendulum and making change happen. And I can see why. It's something that happens at the top, right? And I think when you have that mindset, that shift in change at the top, it's easy for your people to follow, right? They can see it demonstrated. So I am so grateful to you and Cox Communication. And again, congratulations. All right, let's move on to our second recipient of the 2022 DLA AZ Sherm Christine French Lifetime Service Award for an organization. And I don't know if he made it on. Poor Marion I know he was trying to get here. So I want to just congratulate.
I am here.
I know, oh man, I know you parted the Red Sea to be here. We are so grateful. That voice. If you all don't know Marion Kelly, you know the voice, if nothing else, right? But I want to congratulate Mayo Clinic, our long time partner. And I would love to, at this time, play the video of Marion Kelly just talking a little bit about the service that Mayo Clinic has really given us over the years. So please, thank you.
Mayo Clinic has influenced change in the diversity and inclusion space for many years now. I think it's important that businesses and organizations lead this charge and initiative. And so if business is leading the way, the community will follow. And it's necessary for us to talk about systemic racism. It's necessary for us to directly address the problems that are associated with minority populations, whether they're social determinants of health, or whether it's access to health care, or whether it is outcomes in health. It's important that we acknowledge there's a vast difference and create a plan to reduce health outcomes for minority populations. Mayo Clinic has committed $100 million toward eradicating racism within the Mayo Clinic system. And so for that very reason alone, gives another example as to why we have to continue working at changing and making a difference in the world, but certainly at Mayo Clinic. For Mayo Clinic to earn the Christine French Lifetime Achievement Award as an organization is both personally gratifying as well as being gratifying working for this wonderful organization.
Yay! Congratulations. So yes, it is Mayo Clinic, but I have to tell you, anybody that knows, sometimes it just feels like Mayo Clinic is Marion Kelly, because it is so brilliant. You really live it in the community, and all of us are benefits of it. If you all know Marion, you know his heart. And if you know Marion, you know all of the young men and women that he mentors and brings. People always say, Marion, how many kids you got? That's because we all feel like in some way, right? We are the recipients of the grace, as Jeff said earlier, of Marion and his entire family, because he recognized, I think, at a very young age that it was gonna take all of us, because there weren't many of us, especially represented in things like, the medical field or the medical industry and healthcare in general. And so he took that role very seriously. I am, proud to say that Marion is a mentor of mine, and I am grateful for all of the direction and the support and the validation received from him. So congratulations to Mayo Clinic and our co-founder, Mr. Marion Kelly, for the receiving the Christine French Lifetime Service Award. Welcome, Marion, from a car I see. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Joanna. So you all seen the best. Now for the rest. I stand on the shoulder of DLA giants, and Christine French being one of them. but at work at Mayo Clinic, a place that I've had privilege to work for 28 plus years, both in Minnesota and in Arizona. These are gentle giants who happen to be in healthcare, who have the right heart to take care of people. And the commitment that Mayo Clinic has made to make sure that we eradicate systemic racism within Mayo Clinic is phenomenal. $100 million over 10 years to make sure that our system is not one where we shun people, but a place that we welcome people, whether they're patients or employees or vendors or visitors. Whoever they are, we want to make sure that they feel welcome, that they feel heard, that they feel seen, and that they're valued, because they do make a difference. And just like I'm in my car right now, sometimes in life you have to pivot and you have to do things differently. You don't know what you're going to be up against. I had plenty of time based on what my flight was to get here. But unfortunately, my flights were delayed a couple of times. And so I'm just getting here. I'm in my car. I'm glad that I look fresh on the video because I feel like I haven't slept for 16 days. But thank you so much, Mayo Clinic, for your commitment. Thank you, DLA, for the acknowledgement. Dr. Richard Gray and the 8,000 plus people that work at Mayo Clinic are honored by this award. Thank you.
Oh, Marion, thank you so much. Shall I just keep going, Marion, or did you want to give the first Christine French Service Award? I don't know if you have access.
You keep going because I have no access to my materials.
Okay, no worries. I got you, and I'm gonna keep rolling with it. So thank you so much, Marion. Now we'll move on to the Christine French Lifetime Service Awards for individuals. So the first one was organizations, and now we move on to individuals. And I just want to just share a little perspective of the individuals you're about to meet. So the first 2022 DLA AZ Sherm Christine French Lifetime Service Award for an individual goes to Mr. Phil Pangrazio. And if you know Phil, then you know how amazing he is. But Phil has been a servant leader probably in the entire time I've known him, and probably then before then. But he leads with such humility. And you want to talk about grace. He is grace personified, and has such a great presence and energy and attitude. And it's something that is almost infectious. When you're around Phil, you just know you can do it. It's like, he's just like, okay, this is what we're doing. Let's get her done. And that to me is such a tremendous spirit and way to be. And that is why he was selected as the first recipient for the Christine French Lifetime Service Award. We'd love to hear a little bit from Phil now.
I just really love what Diversity Leadership Alliance stands for and what it does. Serving on the board allowed me to ensure that the D and DLA included disability, and disability cuts across all sectors and all populations. No matter who you are, disability is going to touch your life at some point. Being on the DLA board has allowed me to kind of be a disability whisperer on occasion and make sure that DLA's programming included disability issues, and that disability is part of the equity and inclusion part of our mission and what we do. I'm just really humbled and honored to receive the award. Christine, she was a dear friend, she was a colleague, a confidant and a mentor, and of course she was that to many people who knew her and knew her really well. We stand on her shoulders in so many ways. She was a trailblazer in diversity, equity, and inclusion work. You know, we all have to be really grateful for her. I'm humbled and honored. Thank you.
Woo! I know, Phil, it's like I got to take a deep breath because I just, I think there's not a day that goes by that I don't miss that little spirit kind of just, whispering to you that, it's time. You got to do this. We all have to do this. And this is what you need to do. And you are right. We all stand on some mighty, mighty shoulders. And it's interesting that even today, it's felt in so many people. They embody that. And you embody that. At least you do for me and all of the execs that selected you. And I just wanted you to know how grateful I am to know you and your servant's heart. And I would love to just kind of hear a few comments and reflection for your time spent with Christine and DLA. So congratulations to Phil Pangrazio, our first Christine French Lifetime Service Award recipient.
Oh, thank you, Joanna. I do have a few thoughts I'd like to share with you. I've been inspired by a lot of people in my life. Many have been my colleagues and peers who've led the fight for justice and equal rights for people with disabilities, but also the leadership at DLA, as I mentioned in that video, our founder, Christine French, her co-founder, Marion Kelly, and the many other leaders at DLA, certainly Joanna Deshay, and all the other volunteers that step up and do the work at DLA. But other people have inspired me too. The late Justin Dart and Ed Roberts. Justin Dart was considered the grandfather of the Americans with Disabilities Act. He traveled to every state in the country 2 times prior and chronicled the discrimination against people with disabilities and presented that information to Congress and then the President, George Herbert Walker Bush, who signed the ADA. Ed Roberts was also a quadriplegic. He lived most of his life on an iron lung, and he was one of the pioneers of the independent living movement. He wouldn't take no for an answer. When told you can't do that, he would say, why not? He led the movement to integrate colleges and universities for people with disabilities to make their classrooms and dormitories accessible. He opened the first Center for Independent Living in Berkeley, California in the early 1970s, and he is credited with launching the independent living movement. These people taught me that disability is not such a great tragedy and that it's not a reason to be pitied, but rather that it is just a natural part of the human experience, that we have choices in how and where we should be able to live, that it's up to us to want to learn, to grow, and be personally responsible for our destiny. In many ways, my disability has inspired me too. It transformed my life. I've been living with a disability for more than 43 years. I was injured in a car accident at age 19. I had a spinal cord injury and I'm a quadriplegic. I've lived a full, positive, productive, and happy life. Disability does not have to limit any of these aspirations. Interestingly, though, the concepts of racism and discrimination, diversity, equity, and inclusion never crossed my mind prior to disability. As a teenager, I played every sport that had a ball that could be either hit, shot through a hoop, or carried across a goal line. As a white kid growing up in rural Western New York, I never thought much about any of this. I would think, what's the big deal? I played alongside teammates who were African American. I didn't care about the color of their skin. I thought, hey, if you'll block for me, I'll block for you. After I acquired my disability, however, I understood. I got it. I learned that discrimination and oppression truly does exist. I learned that an able-bodied existence is a gift from God and a privilege that should not be taken for granted. Thus, our work is really never done. And as the late Senator Ted Kennedy would say, the work continues, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dream shall never die. I thank DLA for this great honor. I am truly humbled. Thank you all.
Whew. Oh, Phil, I am so grateful to you. Yes, right. We wanted your. I don't know if you. Yes, Marion is doing the air clap. We are humbled to have had your expertise and still do on the board. And you have led us to some wonderful places and some wonderful conversations. And I think for me, that's probably the most powerful thing, is to think about, having a disability not being some tragic end. With my son being on the spectrum, I remember how devastating it was at 3, right? Like, oh my gosh, what will he do? And I remember hearing the words, he'll do everything as long as you tell him he can. So I'm so proud of you, and I'm so honored to know you. And again, congratulations. So I was almost gonna make it. Almost made it. So all right, we're gonna get to the end. Our second and final 2022 DLA and AZ SHRM Christine French Lifetime Service Award for an individual goes to Mr. Lee Barnett. So Lee is another friend and has been so tremendous in leading our youth leadership program. And for those of you that don't know, we have a youth leadership academy that replicates the work that we do with our adult population. A very long time ago, we discovered that we needed to have the conversations much earlier. And that was really the genesis and the birth of our Youth Leadership Academy, which he leads and co-chairs with Mr. Dominic Bartola. So I'd love to hear a little bit about Lee and the work that he's been doing. So if you could play that, that would be great. Thank you.
Serving on the DLA Board of Directors has been a part of my life for over 15 years now. I love the opportunity to work with peers on defining and really talking about how we can make a difference. I see that, and it manifests itself particularly in the youth program, where we give scholarships to students from all backgrounds. I love it because for me, 4 children, 3 grandchildren, I want their world to be one where they just get on with each other. It doesn't matter where someone comes from, what they believe in, what their backgrounds are, what religion they follow. Just treat people with respect and get on and be a good place to live. So DNA enables all that for me. And it's been an eye-opener and a life-changing community for me to belong to. To even be mentioned in the same breath and the same sentence as Christine French, it is an amazing honor that I was ever thought of in that way. But to have been and to be in the same company, I'm awed by the honor that others have bestowed upon me. Thank you for doing that.
Congratulations to my colleague, my fellow board member, my dear friend, Mr. Lee Barnett, for receiving this very well-deserved Christine French Lifetime Service Award. Lee, I almost made it. Like, I'm just a crybaby.
I've got to survive through this as well, Joanna.
Yes, so congratulations, Lee.
Thank you. I still, when I heard that this was potentially on the cards, I told my wife Karen, and actually we both cried because we both are and have been and will always be friends of Christine and her family. And honestly, to just have Lee Barnett, Christine French in the same sentence still doesn't feel real to me. I've loved listening to the other award winners and recipients tonight. What amazing company I'm in, just listening to what they've done and the changes they're making. Marion, if that's what you look like after 16 days without sleep, I wish I could look like that after sleeping last night, but it's a challenge for me. Joanna, you said about Christine whispering. She didn't always whisper. She was the loudest person in the room many, many times, which is why we're who we are and why we've become what we've become. Jeff Ficker said about being old people and loving what we do with the youth. Jeff, if you're old, I'm not sure what that makes me, but it's good company to be in. So I do appreciate that. What we do for Phoenix Union, what we do with the students is for one thing. They are tomorrow's leaders. They are going to take us to places we couldn't even dream of taking us to. I won't be around when that happens, but Christine and her vision and her passion is the change agent that's going to make that happen. So we've heard the words tonight, humble, mentor. You know, I truly am humbled to be here receiving this, to have my name mentioned in the same place as Christine's. She was a friend, a mentor, but she was a life changer for me. She was a life changer for me and for my family. And her vision and influence is so far reaching, as is that of the other co-founder, Marion Kelly. And I'm here as an example of them, because of them, because of their passion and because of their excitement. And I am truly honored to be here receiving this with so many amazing people in the same space. Thank you, truly, truly. Thank you from my heart.
You're welcome. I am so full, and I think that's why we do what we do. It's so edifying just to hear the stories and just to just hear the vision and the gratitude. There's such a, and I think that's what always moves me, is just the humility that we all kind of express. So I want to just take one last minute before I bring up Reed and Tiki, that will just close us out with a few comments. And we've got a great closing video for you. Again, congratulations to all of our winners, Dr. Donald Northfeld, Dr. Felina Cordova Marks, Kristen Rodney, who couldn't join us, Dr. Velma Traham with ThinkZilla, and of course, Jeff Ficker and our friends at Casual Astronauts. And again, to the two companies that you heard from, Cox Communications and also Mayo Clinic, who won the Christine French Lifetime Service Award, and the two individuals that you just heard from, Mr. Lee Barnett, that you heard from, and before that, Mr. Phil Pangrazio. I am so grateful and humbled to all of you also for taking time out of your schedules. I think Lorena said it earlier, because time is the one commodity none of us have enough of. So when someone chooses, to spend their time with you, I am grateful and I'm humbled for that. What I would love to do is I'd love to bring Reed and Tiki back on just to give some kind of closing directions for us. And we're going to close with a video that is the sentiment from all of us at the DLA leadership to all of you. In case no one's ever told you, or hasn't told you at least today, you'll hear in this closing video that we're proud of you. We're proud of each of you for all that you do. And hopefully that you remind someone that you're also proud of them, because unfortunately we don't take the time to really let folks know that we are proud of the work that they're doing and to keep going. So with that, Jeff and Tiki, if you would close us out for the day, and we'll tee up our closing video. Cheers to all of you, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Well, congratulations once again to everybody. And this is what DLA is. You're all part of that family. You're part of that work. And for all of the nominees that may not have received an award, be part of our family. Volunteer with us. Be part of this great work. There's a place for you here. And to all the winners, keep on doing what you're doing. Truly amazing and inspirational. And for those of you whom I personally know, you've inspired me, and I just want you to know that from me to you. We've got a great conference coming up. It's virtual on a platform called Hopin, thanks to the University of Phoenix, one of our sponsors. We're going to kick things off in the morning. Don't be late, because we've got a great keynote to open up. Joanna has done such an amazing job getting speakers from all over the world to present at this conference. It's all about brave conversations and creating stepping stones. And we're going to do a lot of that beginning tomorrow. Another plug for our career fair tomorrow afternoon, after the closing of our official last session tomorrow afternoon. Registration link is in the chat right now, and you can find that on the DLA website. Tiki, my partner in crime, let's thank our sponsors and open this thing with a bang.
Well, everyone, I know I am one of the things standing between you and that fabulous video that we'll be using to close out tonight. I do want to encourage everyone to click on the link that is in the chat. It will allow you to go into the event and start looking at our fabulous speakers and start actually choosing some of the sessions that you want to make sure that you are attending tomorrow. We also really want to thank our partners at Channel 12 News, Kate Morris, and our Channel 12 moderators, Tram Mai, Mark Curtis, Lena Washington, and Dacia Johnson. They will be leading us in our opening and closing sessions. And so if you attended last year, you know how they did a fabulous job facilitating some really great conversations. So again, we hope that you join us first thing in the morning, bright and early, ready to really focus on the conference and being part of the change that everyone's talked about tonight. So again, just on behalf of myself and those who have volunteered this year to put on the awards and the conference, we are looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow and being able to engage with you at the conference and online. And with that, we'll go ahead and we'll turn it over to Brent to play the video and bring us home.
See you tomorrow, everyone.
I'm proud of you for everything you accomplished up to this point, for every battle you ever faced. Even if you didn't win, I'm proud of you. I just wanted you to know that. I don't say this to belittle you or undermine what you've gone through. I say it because sometimes we need to hear that in our lives. It can be challenging going at it alone, feeling like no one has your back, knowing that those you're doing it for don't support you. But I'm proud of you. I'm proud of who you are and of who you're trying to become. Some may have never heard those words spoken to them before, but that doesn't make them any less true. I'm proud of the effort you're putting in and for what you're trying to do. Doesn't matter whether or not you've been successful. Doesn't matter that you're not perfect. You're still trying. Against all odds, you keep getting up every morning and giving it your best. Even though you're not where you want to be in life, you still try. And that type of mentality will push you farther than anything else ever could. To keep taking those steps when there's nothing but obstacles in your way, that is something to be proud of. To keep pushing on, even when you feel like the world is tearing you down. That is a true test of character. You should be proud of how far you've come. You know where you started, and you know what it took to get to this point. And don't you dare downplay your achievements. Everything you had to go through, you got through all of it. You are the one who keeps putting yourself out there to be more than you already are. And every time you stumbled, you picked yourself up and tried again. You are doing the most you can with what you have. And that is something to be proud of. So I'll say it again. I'm proud of you. And you should be proud of you too.